and then the original baseball rules. So we always start with OBR, then we apply the USSSA National, and then we apply the state. And the state of Nebraska only has two different ones: the modified tiebreaker and no DH.
So we don't have third first pickoff. We don't. All balks are live.
Balks are live. You could slide to and through. You can pop up slide it so long as you remain in contact with the base. Live ball appeals. So a team doesn't have to wait for the ball to go dead. It's a live ball appeal is live. Trips to the mound is one free trip per pitcher per inning.
You can fake bunt and hit away.
Yep, you could slash bunt. That is legal. And I know there's three things. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds yet with these rules. But the ones in the room, you know how to get to these rules, right? Improper equipment throughout the game, I'm going to have you guys replace it. If you guys see illegal equipment, just bring it to my attention. And that is not a protest. That's an appeal. Illegal equipment's an appeal. If teams haven't figured out which bats are illegal by now, it's hilarious because all the players know way better than the coaches. So like we had one player. And our team's like, that's an illegal bat. That's an illegal bat. And like my players actually made me look it up. And it was legal. But it was my players who like pointed it out to me like immediately.
Sean, nobody but perfect game is banned bats. Is correct?
Huh?
Nobody but perfect game is
correct.
banned.
Yeah, USSSA has not banned any bats. Okay. All right. I am going to go. I thought I had this open, and I obviously didn't. So I apologize. All right. Did I? Nope, I didn't. Nope, boop, boop. All right, so we went over these topics during our advanced clinic, and I'm not going to go way in depth, but I will share a story about appearance. So we had an ejection last week. And the coach actually reported his own actions of what he decided to get ejected for. So, umpire shows up with no ball bags. Umpire shows up with a cell phone in his pocket. So he knew at the plate meeting, if there was one play in that game, he was going to get ejected. And he said, Sean, you want to know why I did that? So you found out about this umpire's appearance. It was not acceptable. It is not to your standards. And I wanted to make sure I brought attention to it. All right, so I think he went a little bit too far. I don't think he needed to go. I mean, all he would have to do is send me a picture, and then I could send it to the umpire, and life goes on. But understand that is the mentality of these coaches. They expect their players to be at the field 60 minutes to 90 minutes before game time. They expect their players to be in uniform, and they expect their players to play hard. If they do all that and they lose, they can live with that. So as an umpire, they expect umpires to be on time. They expect umpires to be in uniform, and they expect umpires to know the main proper mechanics. We can't control that intangible. All right, so clean shoes, clean pants, hat worn forward, shirt tucked in. Control what we can control. Good partner. All right, so if anybody is working with a partner on a state tournament game they don't want to work with, please let me know. I will switch partners. All right? Because the last thing I want is you going into a state tournament game working with somebody you don't want to work with. Because it happened in softball this past weekend. Like, true story. Partners show up. One umpire left after the first game. Okay, so if we could prevent that, let's prevent that. Everyone knows how to see their partners on their games, right? So if you are truly working with somebody like, Sean, we just clashed, we don't match, let me know, because there's fields we could switch you with. Okay, there is some adaptability, because you guys are a team out there. You guys are a team out there, and it shows when you guys get along, when you guys have good attitudes, and we all know when an umpire is struggling, right? So if you see your partner struggling, pick them up. All right, try to find a way to have your attitude be positive and share it with him. All right, so intangible, we get to control that. Positioning, I can't explain this enough. Coaches know where we should start. Okay, so I had an umpire this week, new umpire, totally cool, did a really good job, but he started in B and C completely opposite. It was like opposite all the time. And thank goodness there wasn't a steal at third base and out of position, all that good stuff. But again, we're going to run into coaches in the right situation at the right time. If we're standing in the wrong spot, then there's a bang-bang play, then we're out of position. Now we're just giving them ammo to get upset at us. Whereas if we start in A with no runners on base, if we start in B with runners on first and third, and then C in all other situations, oh man, these umpires know where to start. Okay, so give yourself that, again, intangible, something you totally get to do on your own. Does anybody have a question of when to start an A, B, or C, and what to do after the ball is hit? Go for it.
So you're B or C. Let's say it's hit the shortstop and you're C. You try to work. Which way do you try to get around the ball? Say back.
All right, I love it. I'm going to duplicate slideshow. Boom. All right, so if I'm in C, right here.
Say it's hit right, pretty much at you.
All right, so I'm going chest to baseball to the shortstop. If that shortstop is charging, I am coming towards this mound, and I'm probably going to get right about here. I'm backing away from the shortstop. Now, if that shortstop is staying back or going towards the middle, I'm probably going to stay closer to here. But I do want to get to that B side. I want to get to that B side as so long as I'm reading that shortstop is going to throw it to first base. But I've now seen fake to first, throw to third. That's why you got to keep your chest to the baseball. Because now if he fakes to first and there's no throw, you should not turn. Boom, now you got that throw to third base.
It was more of a question of do you try to get outside the ball or do you
inside?
Inside.
Yeah.
Towards the mound.
Yeah, I'm getting, yep.
Butt to first base.
Yep. I'm going to get towards the mound. Because if I get on the outside, especially if I'm in C, I'm now taking my play away from other bases. Yep, I'm going to stay near that mound as much as I possibly can.
I should know this, but I just want a definite, hard answer. Bases loaded, defense is cutting in. What is the best position to be in?
Are you talking about a home plate umpire or are you talking about base umpire?
Base.
So base is loaded and there's a cut. If the third baseman is the cutoff man, I'm just again staying.
They're cutting in.
I'm starting in the same exact spot. Yeah. So whether the shortstop is starting here, here, or here, I've never seen them start inside the grass. I've never seen them start where I'm in that what we call short C. I am always in front of the fielders. Always in front of the fielders. I know some umpires, especially on smaller fields, like the 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds, like they go behind the infielders. If you do that, you're taking yourself out of position for pickoffs. You're taking yourself out of positions for back picks. I always stay in front of the infielders. Always stay in front. Plays at home. So I just want to go over this because this came up 2 times this week. We always start at point of the plate where this cursor is. When we see the head coach or third base coach rounding, sending him, I'm now coming to the right side of home plate. And now if I see the play is coming home, come on, cursor, where are you at? All right, I am now going to start working the first base side. I may take a swipe tag right here. All right. If there's a swipe tag at home, I am not going to be third base side or first base extended. That runner, because where does the catcher start? In front or behind the runner? In front of the runner. So when that runner comes home, what's always going to be between the umpire on the outside, first base extended, and the catcher? The runner running home. Out. Look at that.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect timing. CWS. Play that again.
They just played it 5 times.
Did they really?
Yeah, while you were talking.
Dang it.
I pointed up at the first one.
Thank you. Oh, darn it. But see how that umpire pointed the plate, came around to the right side, and with the swipe tag, he continued going around to the right side. So, Zach, if they replay this again with the replay,
They're going to.
Let's see if you could-
They're actively challenging it, so they're going to play it again for sure.
let's see if, but if you could turn the camera off of me and put it on there, if they actually replay it. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. See how the home plate umpire's first base side, he's coming around. Boom.
No tag.
And what's the umpire's call? Safe, no tag. No, because he has the ball. Catcher had the ball. Safe. Perfect. All right. So that is how you want to take plays at home.
That's funny.
All right. Point of the plate, right side, keep coming around. All right. Because the runner will most likely get in your way between the tag if you go to first base extended, a.k.a. the left side. Again, intangibles, we get to control that. All right. This is a mindset. Every play, you have to tell yourself, the players are going to drop the ball. The players are going to throw the ball away. When you are base umpire in a position, there's a pop-up in the infield. Where do we have to go? We have to come in, because when players are playing the game right, out of the box, what are they taught to do? Run hard. So pop up to the shortstop, they're running hard. By the time the shortstop drops it, they're right about here. And now there's a play at second base. I see umpires all the time. Oh, this shortstop's going to catch it. And they stay right here in A position. And then all of a sudden the ball is dropped. There's a play at second base. We have absolutely no idea what the call is. So pop up means pivot, get inside. Assume they're going to drop every single ball. Hope they catch everyone. All right? And again, we get to control that mindset. And then the last thing we cover with unsporting behavior. We will have, unfortunately, a lot of emotions during state tournament. A lot of emotions during state tournament. Everyone understands that going into the baseball weekend, right? So ask yourself, what did you have on the play? Because I want to see it. We compared it to poker. Imagine playing poker and you ask a question, hey, Tom, what's your hand? Because coaches, guess what they'll do? They'll give us their hand. Let them show you your hand. Don't give them your hand until they show you your hand. If you do that in poker, won't you win every time? You will win every time in umpiring if you let the coach show your hand. Because now that you can, coach, I agree with what you saw, but this is the rule. Coach, that might have happened from your angle, but in my judgment, where I was, this is what I saw. Now, could they argue judgment?
Nope.
Or the third thing is, hey, coach, if that's what happened, I'm going to go with my partner. I'm going to ask my partner for their opinion. Once you go back to the dugout, we'll get together. Once we break that crew conference, we're going to go with what us umpires have. Could that coach come back out of the dugout? No, can't come back out a second time. So those are your three things that are going to happen when you allow the coach to show their hand. Coach, I agree with you, but this is the rule. Coach, that's maybe what you saw, but in my judgment, my angle, I saw this. Or coach, you want what? You brought up a good point. Let me get with my partner. We'll sort it out once you get back to the dugout. Now we are approachable. We're understanding. We diffused it, and we're not going to have escalation. All right, so I did see, and it wasn't our game, our assigned game, but umpire saying, get in the dugout. How many times do I have to tell you, get in the dugout? You're not going to be good. All right. Hey, coach, could you help us out? Get in the dugout, please. All right.
Sean, what do you do if he decides to come back out?
I warn him, coach, if you come back out here, you're at risk of ejecting yourself. Like by rule, you can't come back out here.
He keeps walking.
Then you just got to eject. And it's a nice, gentle. And that warning, just make sure everyone hears the, like, not yelling, screaming, just make it very apparent you are trying to keep the coach in the game.
Should you use 2 hands instead of 1?
Not one, but personal preference. All right, end show. Intangibles. We get to control all those intangibles. All right, now I'm going to go back to 2004, and I sent it out this afternoon. I think I stored it correctly. Yep, boom. All right, so I'm going to just copy and paste this, and then we'll open it up. Boom. All right, so hit by pitch. And Eric, I am so glad that you came here today, because Eric brought up an excellent point with me yesterday. Why is this not perfect? Because Eric had a pitch that was completely in the batter's box on the backside of the batter, and the batter just froze and let the ball hit him. Did not move, did not attempt to get out of the way, did not do nothing. And Eric, based on the rule that he read in the original baseball rule, the Major League Baseball rulebook says a batter must attempt to get out of the way of a pitch. Otherwise, they stay in the box. And I said, black and white, absolutely. But now let's talk about case plays and philosophies. So we talked about good pitch versus bad pitch. So if a good pitch, so when we say good pitch, I call it like 29 inches. So anything that's batter's box line to batter's box line, that's a good pitch. That batter has to attempt to get out of the way of that pitch. They can't be over the line or in between the river. They must attempt to get out of the way of that pitch. But now if that ball is completely inside the batter's box, whose box is that? Batter. All right? So batters are taught not to back away, not to move their feet, but to turn and take it in their back, take it in their butt, take it in their hamstring, so they don't get hit in other body parts that will hurt. All right, so that's what we mean by good pitch versus bad pitch. If it's a good pitch, the batter lets it hit them, or the batter goes and hits the good pitch with their body. Time, stay here. Now you have to judge a ball or strike. A batter cannot allow a good pitch to hit them. But if it's a completely bad pitch, the pitcher was nowhere near the strike zone, time, take your base. So we talk about like the unwritten rules of baseball. That's one of the unwritten rules of baseball. You know, you're going to award the player who did their job better, and the pitcher was way off on that one. All right, so
I've had one where the batter, a lot of times, they stand right on that line inside.
yep,
They stand on the outside in the middle of the box, and they do the knee bend into it.
and they go forward, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
They
I'm
don't
keeping
move
them
their
there.
feet necessarily. They just bend their.
Keeping them there.
They're basically moving in.
Yep, they are moving into that pitch. I'm keeping them there. I I've seen hit by pitches where the batter catches it. Has anyone seen the batter catch it?
Yeah.
Mostly it's what they
Yes. I send them to first base. Like, and when I say catch it, not like this, not like outside their body frame, but like they're catching it so it doesn't hit their face, it doesn't hit their chest, it doesn't hit their groin. They like stop it with their hand. I'm sending them to first base on that one. All right, so I don't want people being confused, like reach outside and go get it. All right, so this play happened. This was an awesome play. Fake tag obstruction. 2 umpires are here that had it. So number one, the ones we see all the time is a hit and run. Runner on first is advancing, and there's a fly ball to center field. What are the middle infielders taught to do? Yeah, they're taught to, hey, make it look like we're turning 2. Because we want that runner on first base continuing to advance. We want that runner on first base sliding into second, thinking it's a ground ball. They didn't do their job and look back and see that was a fly ball. That's not considered a fake tag. That is a completely legal play. Because now coaches will be like, they can't fake tag the base. No, that is a baseball play. What we mean by fake tag is they use the glove and actually touch the runner. All right, so if that runner is running and they use their glove and intentionally tag them pretending they have the ball, that's a fake tag. So we treat that exactly like we would obstruction. So now that's obstruction. All right, at minimum, that's 1 base. In this situation, all right, you could have judged the runner stopped running thinking he was tagged out. So he literally slowed down and like stopped running as the ball went to left field. So now in your judgment as an umpire, where could you have placed that runner? You could have scored him because that tag actually made that runner think, oh, I'm out. All right, because the coach even said, like, why'd you stop? Well, he tagged me. And that's how the discussion started. All right, so I wanted to go over those 2 plays. Fake tag is an illegal play, but we treat it as obstruction. But tagging a base on a force play, that is a baseball play. It's the runner's responsibility to know where that ball is at when they're stealing. Question here, and then I'll go to question there.
Is that going to be a warning in U-Trip also?
So, no, let's say it's not a warning for fake tag.
What is it?
What's that?
What is it?
It's obstruction.
That's it?
Yep.
No unsporting behavior?
Well,
That's what we judge.
No.
So, no, your play was definitely a baseball play. Your play was definitely a baseball play. The play that could lead to, if it incites a fight, now you have an ejection. So what happens in unwritten rule of baseball, a catcher doesn't even attempt to throw it to second base. Shortstop comes in, applies a tag on the runner stealing second base, first and third. That's going to make runners really, really mad. So that would be inciting unsporting behavior. Yeah, or hurt somebody. So that is where the unsporting behavior. But this was a legit runner or third baseman dives, goes off his glove, tags the runner. It was all in the act of the play. It was obstruction because he did not have the ball.
I was saying, like, third baseman's tracking it in and just it goes off the tip of his glove and he's still tagged.
Well, yeah, but it was a diving, like he was ground ball dive,
Okay.
off his glove, tag.
Okay.
It was truly a fairness play, not a safety play. That's actually a good way to put it. If it's a fairness play, go obstruction. If it's a safety play, you could eject.
No warning?
No warning. Yep, because you're inciting something. This one was just fairness. Hold on. What was your?
My question was, like on a steal, and they just missed the ball and tag.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see that all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah, that was just an error.
That's a bang bang play where they just.
Yeah, if it's an error,
Yeah.
we're nothing. Ryan.
I had an overthrow at first base. runner at first advances to second easily, but the shortstop come in and did the fake tag.
Yep.
And it caused the runner to slide. And so I yelled obstruction. I mean, he wasn't going to get third no matter what, but I gave him third because of the obstruction. Was that the correct call?
Was he on second base when the tag was applied?
No. It was like the shortstop came in acting like there was going to be a throw. The guy was at least 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And he acted like he tagged him, and the kid slid.
Yeah. So by rule, you would only award him second base.
Oh, okay.
Because the tag was applied before the next base.
Okay.
Now, if he was on second, so he established second base, then that tag was applied, now he would get third. But that tag forced him. And do you think he was going to get the third and he was on the overthrow?
I do not think he was going to get third.
Because now let's say overthrow to first base and it bounces and goes to right field. And you have that third base coach saying, come on, come on, come on, come on.
And then
but that's now you could give him third base.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And also be aware, that's the situation. You got to look for unsporting behavior. Like if they get pissed off that, yeah.
When awarding bases, should we look at anything, perhaps the lineup?
Yes.
Doing so?
Know your personnel. So obstruction, and we do this, and I'm going to award Ricky Henderson different than Cecil Fielder. I'm showing my age there a little bit. You probably don't know who Cecil Fielder and Ricky Henderson are. Oh, you do? Oh, nice. Good deal. All right. You can't award bases the same. So if you know the runner on base is a leadoff hitter, you could play that into consideration. If you have these teams all season long and you know who those aggressive base runners are, you could award accordingly. Tom.
Tagging a base, like either a throw from the outfield, kid goes into second, the kid tags him anyway, trying to pick him off. All of a sudden, that tag is really hard. I thought, well, damn, that's nothing. And then they did. It was the whole team. They were just smacking it and just basically said, well, no, we're not doing that, guys.
Yeah, I would give a team warning on that. Hey, coach, maybe the first hard tag. Hey, coach, could you talk to your players? Like, applying tags is good, but you don't have to. You never see first base, unwritten rule. You never see first base and wham! They apply a tag. They don't force a tag. And, hey, coach, could you help us out? If they continue doing it, hey, guys, here's your warning. Because now we go to that bench jockeying threshold. If you keep doing it after warning, if I get a reaction from the other team, now I'm going to have to, you just ejected yourself.
So follow up to that. I think one of the times we're talking about bench jockeying is orchestrated as opposed to spontaneous.
Correct.
Could you take us through that?
Yeah, so bench jockeying is softball cheerleading. They can't do softball cheerleading and all of a sudden scream as the pitcher pitches it. So that's one example. If a pitcher is struggling, throw me number 6, throw me number 7, give me number 8. That's a free base. Throw me a triple. What did the worms do to you?
Hey, get lucky.
All right, so what I do in those situations is I ask the coach, hey, coach, could you ask your team to keep it on their team? Guys, they're doing it on purpose. They see a pitcher struggling, they're going to play mind games with that pitcher. That is not legal to do. So just shut it down right away. Because guess what? Here's what happened, Advanced Clinic. First inning, 4 pitches into the game, and number 17's right there, across the field from me. And I give the home plate umpire the first 2 comments, whatever, not dealing with it. I go to the third base coach. I said, Coach, what's number 17 doing in there? Hey, Chucky, not today. Done. The coaches know. And if we let them do it, guess what? They're going to do it. If we tell the coaches, like, hey, could you help us? Like, that's not very nice, or whatever words you want. Hey, guys, not with this umpiring crew. Not today. Shut it down. They're doing it on purpose. It's learned behavior. All right. Cheer for you. Comments to your team. Yes,
I
sir.
was just gonna say, when you say unsportsmanlike contact or one guy faking the tag, that's a team warning.
Team.
So if someone else does it, you're gonna say,
With a reaction, now I have an ejection.
then you can okay.
Yep.
Is that on the coach or the player?
Player.
The ejection's on the player.
Yep. Yep.
Got it.
And if this came up, it was a comment. They don't know what player made the comment. If you don't know what player made the comment after team warning, now you get the head coach because the head coach is responsible for their team.
I had a situation with first base coach chipping every time the 10U pitcher would start his pitch. And so I let it go about 4 times. 5th time, pitcher balked. I called time, approached the coach, told him I felt he was seeking an unfair competitive advantage. This was a warning. Was that proper?
Do you think this grown adult was trying to manipulate a 10-year-old youth baseball player?
Absolutely.
Eject him. No warning. The coach. So there is a rule. It's under interference.
Sorry.
The opposing team cannot make any signals, verbal communication to cause the opponent to balk, to impede, hinder, confuse. Now, we understand coaches instinctively yell balk when they think there's a balk, right? That's not the automatic ejection. But if they're
It was literally,
yeah,
and I'm like,
that's automatic ejection. Now, if you want to say, hey, coach, are you all right? Because you don't want to put the judgment on me if you're trying to distract the pitcher, because if you are, my judgment's going to be ejection. So please don't put me in that box. Yeah, they cannot do that.
Is that like, I got it out of the dugout?
Yeah, I got it out of the dugout. If a player does that, I'm not going to treat a player versus player the same way as a grown adult. That's interference.
Yeah.
If a dugout says, hey, I got it, boom, that's offensive interference.
Drop it.
Time out. Now, if it's an adult doing that, I have no room for adults messing with youth heads. And yes, I know it has happened before, but we just got to draw a line.
With emotions at stake, if the third base coach touches a player coming around third.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. Does he touch the player in congratulations, or does he touch the player to stop him or send him? Because it's 2 different answers.
Okay.
A batter who just hit a home run,
Yeah, okay.
they can be touched before getting to home plate. It's not an automatic out. Now, the rule that we should apply if we feel like there's bad stuff going on is we got to keep the teammates near the dugout. So if these teams are going back and forth and they don't like each other, and you allow one team to come to home plate where the pitcher is, where the catcher is, that's not by rule allowed. Now, I get excitement, 9, 10, 11. I get it. They want to meet their player at home plate. So you got to feel the room. I know you're going to hate this, right? It's a gray area. So if you have a tense moment, tense environment, keep the players near the dugout, let the player touch home plate, let them go celebrate in the dugout. That's why NCAA has all those rules that they have bat flips and props, and they have to stay in the dugout or it's automatic ejections. Because there's a team playing a national championship, their whole team was ejected. And they had to serve suspensions separately because they still had to play. So you got to feel that out. But now if a coach is pushing a runner home or stopping a runner from coming home, that's now coach's interference out. That's the rule people are saying. If a runner is touched before they get to home plate, they're out. It's if they are physically assisted. A high five is not physically assisted. A pat on the butt is not physically assisted on a home run. All right, so I think that's the rule. All right, slide rules. This is the last one that was called in last week for me. There is no mandatory slide rule. Oh, that was great head turn when he was supposed to turn it. There is no mandatory slide rule. They do not have to slide into home plate. They don't have to slide into second base on a force play. They don't have to slide into third base on a force play. Just if they don't, they're at risk of being called out for interference. All right, so if they don't slide at home, they're at risk. If they hinder that catcher from making a play at home, they're at risk of being called out for interference. So we had a couple umpires. They were telling coaches that, hey, it's mandatory if there's a play at that base, they have to slide. They don't. Just that if they don't slide, they can't interfere. That's just, we want them to slide, yes, but it's not must. And then there was a short last week where they jumped over the tag. They can jump over a tag. They can. Is anybody into football here? You play football. They can't hurdle the defender, but they could jump over a tag. They just can't jump over the body frame and lead with the spikes into the face. That's what they're worried about, is leading with the spikes into the body. But they could jump over a tag. They can jump around a player with the ball to avoid contact, to avoid interference.
With that tag, you guys forward the baseline we established. That tag attempt, I jump over that tag. Is that vertical as well? Or
Nope.
Is it just horizontal?
So 3 feet either side is just horizontal.
Not vertical.
Yeah. Could anyone jump 3 feet here?
Not anymore.
You were able to jump 3 feet?
Tom looks a little spry.
I want to see somebody jump 3 feet. No, but yeah, they could jump 5 feet over a glove if they want to jump over 5 feet over a glove.
I know this is going to come up on home plate. Can you talk about catcher obstruction again on the home plate? You got to give the runner a lane, but
Okay.
can you go? Because it's going to happen to all of us here.
I will say this. The question is catcher obstruction. When and where can the catcher be? So I would say 95% of the time, catchers are going to start in front of home plate and start legal. 95%. The 5% where they are, I call them the lost puppies. They just don't know where they're standing. Use preventive umpiring and tell that catcher, move up, don't stand on home plate, don't straddle, get in front of, I am telling the catcher, please get in front of home plate. Now, when that happens, what causes the catcher to move after that? The throw. So long as that catcher starts legal in front of home plate, gives a path to home plate, and doesn't move from there until the throw is made, we should never have obstruction. I've had 2 obstruction calls on the catcher ever in my whole entire career. And both times it was they didn't move from where they started. It was a good throw, and they moved their foot before they had the ball. That was the catcher obstruction. I mean, there's a Michigan play, I think, in the College World Series where he did it. But once they start legal, the only thing that's going to cause them to move is the ball. And if the ball causes them to move now to the path of home plate, since they started legal, they're good because they're in the act of fielding a throw. And that's the Major League, the OBR rule. Once that ball is released, thrown, that catcher's now in the act of fielding the throw, which is awesome rule. All right. Now, if you think in your judgment, that's a spot-on throw, there was no reason for them to move that direction to block the home plate, now you have obstruction.
If they cut it, relay it.
Correct. Yeah, it's, cut 3. Yeah. So, but yeah, it has to be a throw to the catcher. Like I said, I know the 2 exact plays in my head I've called catcher obstruction. But whenever there's a true collision, it's because the throw has caused the collision. or the runner says, "Ha, sucks to be you." Now you have an ejection. Now you got the malicious contact.
So the catcher doesn't listen, doesn't know where he's standing.
Again, the lost puppy. If you have the lost puppy, get them legal. Get them legal. All right. What time is it? 9:13. Sweet. Any other open forum questions from the last 3 weeks?
I know I called you on this. It was on Friday, triple crown, first and third situation. At the plate meeting, we went over that you cannot fake to third because if you do, you have to throw it first. And what happened is the guy faked to third, and then he got him out at second. He went to second and got him out. And the coach goes, I was up in the fourth tone and he said, "How right?" I said, "You can't do that. That's a ball. He stays there. He comes home." And the other coach started flipping out like, "What? We've been doing that all weekend. Of course we can do it." So he grabbed his $100 and went to the site supervisor. And the site supervisor didn't know the rules and said it was allowed. What do you do there?
So it's not our tournament as an umpire. Do what the site tournament wants you to do. That's the best advice I could give you. If they protest, you know the rule, you have a rule book, or they find a rule and they say, "No, we're going to go with whatever they want to go with," so be it. Don't fight with the site supervisor. Whatever was said in that Triple Crown meeting with the coaches was not conveyed correctly. I can tell you that much. I mean, you guys saw it at our field for our clinic. I yelled out the rule. I'm like, "Don't protest," because he had $100. I go, "It's 6-4-2-D. You will lose. Keep the $100. Come here. I will show you the rule book." And that's what he did. They forgot the question that once you fake to third, you are still a pitcher. You're still a pitcher. You have not disengaged from the rubber. You're still a pitcher. Okay, but there is no fake to third, USSSA. They have to disengage to fake a throw to third base. They have to disengage to fake a throw to first base. They can fake a throw to second base as so long as they step towards second base. They could feint to throw to second base. No, USSSA is live. So boom, and that's another good question. That came up. So boom, that's a balk, home run. What are we going to do?
Home run.
Home run. It's a live ball. So now let's say it's bases loaded, 1 out. That's a balk. Boom, ground ball, batter runner gets out at first base, all other runners advance. What do we do?
Ask the coach.
No.
Because he might.
It's no option. It's
the batter has to reach legally and everybody has to advance the base. Otherwise, it's
the balk. So if all runners, including the batter runner, advance 1 base, the balk is nullified. Balk never happened. If all runners, including the batter runner, do not advance 1 base legally, you have to enforce the balk. Have to.
Can the coach take the other option?
No.
Okay.
Did you not hear what I just said?
I just want to make sure.
No options.
they can advance more, so it's not like you have to put a runner back.
So once they all advance 1 base, the balk is nullified. It never happened. Never, ever did it ever happen.
So since he hit it, does that pitch count for anything?
Yes. Great. So if they hit it and the balk is nullified for pitch count, that counts. If you do enforce the balk, so now you take that pitch away. That pitch never happened. Yeah. So we shouldn't have that USSSA, but that does come up American Legion in high school. We have to be very clear, no pitch. That actually came up Prep Westside a couple years ago in postseason.
I actually the other day that the third out in I said block, but they kept it and got hit to second base.
Yep.
And catcher interference. Best hitter up hits the catcher's glove. Foul ball. The coach wanted him to stay up. So you just take a foul, right?
He
Strike
can.
1.
Yes.
0-0.
So
0-1. Because a couple pitches later, that kid
so
hit a shot.
this is now, and the word is still not option. Okay. But boom, bases loaded.
Yeah.
Best hitter up. Boom, catcher interference.
Yeah.
Time, catcher interference. You first base, and then you advance them all. A coach can't come and tell you. It's not an option. They have to tell you, I don't want catcher interference.
Okay.
I want the result of the play. Okay. No, can't do that for a hit by pitch. Hopefully they don't hit the best batter on purpose the next pitch. I thought that's where you were going with it.
Back to catcher interference. R1. Catcher interference. Batter runner puts it into play though. R1 gets to R3. Batter runner reaches first safely.
So you're not going to like this, Eric. By rule, I am to enforce the catcher interference. Time, catch interference, you are 3, second base. The coach then has to come tell me, Sean, I want the result of the play. All right, sweet. Time, you, third base. But what happens there is this. What happens if R1 missed second base? Now they appeal it, throw to second, out. That's why the coach doesn't have the option. They have to tell you they want the result of the play.
So still enforce.
So by rule, enforce the catcher interference. In that situation, like I was talking to Matt Ossenfort, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to enforce. I'm not going to confuse everybody.
You're just going to let it go.
I'm just going to say first and third. I'm not going to make the coach come tell me. Life is good. I'm not going to pick a booger. We're gonna go with it.
What if that flips and other coach?
Now, great question. Now we're gonna bring up pitcher, same exact, and I'm gonna go to pitcher's equipment. If the other coach says, Sean, the rule for catcher interference is, okay, you're right. Time, catcher interference, you, second base. Now guess what the other coach is gonna do? Come out. Coach, are you telling me you want the result of the play? Yes. Sweet. Boom. All right. Then I will do the song and dance.
Right.
So now pitchers. The rule is this. It could be any solid color except gray and white. Okay? And it has to be equal length and same color. Now, I am not asking you to be NCAA umpires and watch the pitchers warm up in the bullpen and not even let them leave the bullpen with illegal equipment. Okay, we're not going to change illegal equipment in 10 years probably. These kids see it on TV. They don't notice that pitchers aren't wearing it. See this pitcher? It has black sleeves, equal length, same color. That's legal. So now if I have a pitcher who has a black sleeve and he doesn't have a sleeve on the other hand and nobody's saying anything about it, I'm not going to say anything about it. Now, if a coach comes up to you as an opposing coach and says, Sean, like, my players are saying that sleeve is distracting, I'm going to have to enforce the rule. Hey, coach, in my judgment, I'm not going to throw the other coach underneath the bus. Hey, coach, in my judgment, I think this arm sleeve is distracting. So, like, if they have a crucifix on it, just turn it inside out. See if that appeases the other coach. Or another teammate probably has another black sleeve. Coach, he could wear his teammate's sleeve. They could both be black. Now they could both be distracting. Let's do it. Now you're a friend of the coach. All right? Find ways to make it legal if a coach brings it up. Sunglasses are legal as long as they're not reflective.
Or prescription.
It has nothing to do with prescription. They just can't be reflective. They can't be like the... I should have brought some. Yeah, like the ski goggles. Pitchers can't wear that.
So you're telling me if a pitcher has reflective sunglasses, but they're prescription, you can't wear them?
No, they have to be non-reflective.
How do I diffuse that situation now?
I've never seen prescriptive. Has anyone seen prescriptive reflective glasses?
You don't say.
They don't sell them that way.
I don't know if I can do stuff all
I'm telling you that they don't sell stylish reflective glasses with prescription. I'm telling you they don't.
With the blue lens.
All right. All right. So non-reflective is legal. They just can't be the stylish, glaring, and yeah. Jewelry, same thing. Pitchers jewelry, keep it tucked in. If they can't keep it tucked in, coach, this is too much. Has anyone seen? Huh?
All the wristbands these kids have.
Again, no tape. Sleeves are legal. Tape is not legal. I don't pick a booger unless the opposing coach brings it to my attention. Coach brings it to my attention. I'm going to say, in my judgment, this tape is distracting. In my judgment, this jewelry is distracting. In my judgment, that what you do have on this sleeve is distracting. Let's find a way to solve it.
Kids that like tear their arms up sliding in the face.
Yep.
Make sure it's black, or they can't hit your face.
Tape, they cannot have tape. So they could have black sleeves, black sleeve. Like my son, he has blue sleeves, green uniform. Looks like an idiot. Hi. But you want to know, that's what he wears to protect his elbows.
They put a sleeve over the tape.
They could put a tape underneath the sleeve and the sleeve over tape, yeah.
The cards, they have to wear those on the wrist.
So cards, what cards are we talking about? Yeah, so if they have wrist cards, if it's white, it's got to be on the wrist facing them. It can't be on the outside facing the batter.
You can't wear it on the belt,
What is the major?
Federation
That's high school. You cannot high school.
High school, you can't wear it on the belt.
I know NCAA you can. I know Federation you cannot. I'm saying no because I never see it in professional baseball.
So you cannot wear it on the belt.
Cannot.
Here's that.
Are there teams that are wearing it?
Comparison for high school.
But Tom, again, I'm not touching it until the other team brings it up. I'm not touching that. One-way communication, only the catcher. If coaches are doing the wristbands thing, the whole team could have wristbands. They just have to be using the communication device in the dugout. So I've seen coaches try to use their cell phone in the coach's box. They can't do that.
One-way communication is just voice.
Just the catcher, voice.
But if it's voice, but the watches, they all have.
All could have the wristband.
And they can't do that from the coach's box?
They cannot do from the coach's box. It has to be from the dugout. Has to be from the
You
dugout.
see these coaches, especially young age, like at state, they throw 3 warm-ups. They're not even close to the plate. They come out to the mound. That's a visit.
That's a conference. Yep. Now, I try to prevent that, coach. Hey, coach, if you go out there and talk to the pitcher, that's a conference. I try to stop it. Or, yep, I'm going to take one.
That's that whole.
Yep.
They walk across the diamond.
Yes. And now if they pick up the ball, hand it to the pitcher, I'm not worried about that.
Sean, that's different than the pitcher hanging out there while his new warming up, right?
Pitcher hanging out what?
The coach is hanging out while his new pitcher's warming up.
Yeah,
That's
if
different.
after a change, that coach could stay in the dirt circle until those warm-ups are over. And that's not a charge conference. But he can't go talk to the third base, shortstop. They have to come to him.
And I have to let him know that coach can't go out.
And anyone know why they do that? Where are the base runners? On the bases. So they don't want the opposing coach going around the bases and saying stuff to the opposing teams. That's why the rule is the way it is. So, all right, YouTube Live, we're going to end that session. Those of you who are here, definitely stay as long as you have questions. We could watch the rest of the College World Series game. But please print out, download, have those bylaws accessible to you, have the Nebraska, modified California, no DH rules accessible to you, and have a great 4 weeks of state tournaments. Those of you who are here, if you want to sign up for state tournaments, I'm going to have sheets of paper for each week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that you can work. So that way when I get the tournament schedules in, I'm going to get you on the days that you're available to work.
Are you going to try to have 2 umps for all age groups?
2 umps, all age groups. 2 umps.